everybody. You guys like my
Hello.
new intro? I got a new intro. Yay.
I love how you end. I love how you end that intro, Irene, with the nudity, the censorship.
Yeah.
It's like that's bold. She's bold. You know, it's funny because I was at the comic shop today, and I got this just out of curiosity. I was like, what is this gonna become? You know, this is
Penthouse Comics, Dirty Birdie.
So it's this anthology thing. So I thought, but you look at it, you're like, oh, there's just like a regular comic book. So I got it, but then when I flipped through the very, very back of it, not so safe for work.
Oh no!
Yeah, not so safe for work in the back. I was like, he's like, no, it's like an anthology of comics. I just glanced through the first page. I was like, oh, looks, I'll try it. I'll do a review on it, see what this is. Okay, the last 8 pages are like the magazine you remember. So
right, nice. Well, that's how they sell the magazine.
that's how they get you to read the comics.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. You guys see what I draw. Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome, Adam and Jason.
Hi.
I'm excited. We're going to be talking about JAWBONE today, your awesome new book that just launched not so long ago.
And here it is.
We already see it. Look at that. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just all kinds of awesome. Oh, look at that beautiful foil. I can't wait. You guys are returning guests. You guys know I love Crager's art. Adam, you do amazing work. Let's do this. Let's do this.
There it is.
Nice.
I love it. Yeah,
say hi to chat real quick.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Doug, Romy. Thank you for the link, everybody. I just want to thank chat for sending links, everybody. Yes, check out Embrace 2 by Odin, who is also my editor, by the way. And thank you for linking JAWBONE Death. The link for that is in the description. Also, check out Phoenix 2.5. It ends this weekend. So everybody go be sure that you back that as well. All right, take it away. Why don't you introduce yourselves real quick for anyone who doesn't know you? Even though most people probably do.
Yeah, no, I'm Adam. I work in both film and television, and then this is my side passion. You know, I've been a television showrunner for more than 100 episodes of TV, made a lot of movies, and produced lots and lots of commercials. But comic books about 5 years ago. I've been writing them all this time when I was writing television, and then 4 years ago when COVID hit, boom, I jumped into the crowdfunding game, and it's been awesome. Had some great successes. I've done I've in fact did a book with Wesley Snipes.
Hell yeah.
And anyway, so that's been the great ride for anybody who doesn't know me, and I love it. So I'm in it for the love of the game. I do reviews on comics because I'm so passionate about it. It's such a fun, sort of free medium. You know, when you work in television commercials and you work for studios, there's a lot of restrictions and there's a lot of oversight. And not that that's evil. It's just a different experience as a creator, whereas this space is actually really free in a unique way.
Right.
And I know you work, in entertainment elements as well too. Irene, I'm sure you can probably agree with that. This space is like, you have a lot
of freedom.
You have a lot of freedom that you don't
in
other
absolutely.
spaces. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a large part, it's also to the spend, right? Like I just did a commercial for the Super Bowl. You know, just the production spend was over $1 million, like 1.3 million when you consider post, for a very short, for 30 seconds of content. You know, it's like, so there's going to be a lot of scrutiny, right? Because of the spend for that. But anyways, but it's awesome. And Jason is my amazing artist. We've done 2 books together. We did the Kill Journal. We did 140 pages here on the Kill Journal, which was awesome.
That one.
And you can get this. You can get this on the campaign too. It's in there for just a few bucks. You can add it on. That's what Jason and I met. So we did 130 pages there. Then he did a side story for me, another 40 pages. And now this is I hate to say our opus, but definitely our hearts are knit together on this book. It is equal parts me and him in a real special way.
Awesome. Yeah, I got the Kill Journal. It looks amazing. And I already have Crager's art. I got your Tentacle Lady piece, but I can't show it on stream because they're boobs. But yeah, I'm a fan of both of you guys, so this is awesome. I love that you guys are continuing to work together.
Yeah, it's been a cool thing because this book, it's done, and it ships. I'm going to send it to the printers here at the end of this week. And it's like there's 2 proofs. One is I did an advanced copy, which I always like to do just in case
let's show
you make
everyone
mistakes.
that.
So it's a full advanced copy. You know, the whole book is done. Now this is gonna get a title on it. The logo had not been completed that Billy Basco did. But this is a way to double check. Like, hey, do my blacks, are they just horrific, or are they working? By the way, this double page spread, Maromi, who's in the chat here, he got the original art for that.
Oh, nice. How do you get the advanced copy for that? So do you get the plates made? Is that plate printing or is it digital?
No. So I have a printer that will do one-offs for me on the idea that we're gonna do the full run, and so they'll do 2 copies up front, and then I do a larger number after, and it's a special thing. Obviously they're more expensive. They're not. You could never make a profit on them because it's just they end up being $20-$30 to print just one.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but it's a great way to look at you look at your work, because you can see mistakes that you can't see digitally when you can start to see, like, wait a minute,
seeing it on a page, it matters. It just also so what I like to do is lay out all the pages side by side, so you see your page turns and have the PDF be 2 pages. So everybody make sure to do that. But when you see it printed, it's different because you have the page folds. Comics are a physical medium, so that's really smart that you do a test print like that.
And then you can start to see what's being kind of lost in the gutter as well. You start to see, and also you see, particularly like, because blacks, I'm sure you've printed a lot of books, Irene. It's like blacks can get tricky, no matter what. You know what I mean? And different printers.
The K value will just get all weird, so you got to make sure that, even though it's tricky if it's a one-off print run versus doing it's a plate print run, is different machines. I know about that, but still, just being able to see it is better than nothing. And
absolutely.
If you find a good printer, stick with them. You
get warned. Like on the 8th, I didn't get a proper printing in advance, and there were some pages that just ended up too dark. Like, I lost details and things, and I've always regretted that. But so I printed out 2 of these. One was supposed to go to Jason, but he's an evil person, so it never arrived.
Awesome.
But then the other evidence that the book is done is, here is the book in the original pages, which we've almost sold out of. I think we only have one
look
left.
At that.
But you can see, look at this. And you see this one, Irene, you could talk about. This is a curvilinear grid.
Yeah! I love that stuff.
Right? So cool.
Fun.
And so we were selling these pages just at basement price, because I love to give people a chance to hold an original page. Because usually it's, a $500 page is a lot for anybody. And so, but these are at a price, $165, where it's like, hey, you can get that, and then you can hold a piece of history in your hands. And, once you start holding original art, I hate to say it, you can, it changes comics forever for you when you're like, oh, this is what this is. And you can see Jason's fingerprints and the whiteout, and you can see the way he flexed things and the way things get, it keeps falling out of focus. The way things get corrected. This is one of my favorite pages, our He-Man moment. But holding these pages in your hand and like flipping through the book, like you're saying, Irene, really also helps you see what you're making, right?
Yeah, it really does. And seeing them in real life, IRL, or owning a piece of comic art, I think it makes it clear how much effort comics are. Like, especially seeing original art, not what's that somebody hand drew, and especially such a good artist like Jason. I can't wait. I bought a page on the campaign.
I know.
You made it so dang affordable. It's criminal, but I got one, so I'm looking forward.
And it's coming to you next. I'm coming to you next. I'm waiting on the person in front of you to pick their page. I've done it where it's like in order that you bought it, you get a pick, and so this is a page that the number 1 guy picked.
Let's see.
Will Perdomo dove in quick and got that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dang it. Shakes fist. Will.
Yeah. But right. Holding these pages is transformative, and when you get a sort of feel. There we go.
Now, there we go. Now we can all be on screen and see that. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. The drawn in sound effect too. Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's all this energy in the pages, which I think was at the core, what we were so excited about is in the art that he and I talked over, having, read seen so much of what Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron and James DeCoy and Sean Murphy, these kind of guys are adding so much energy to their pages. They don't feel stiff at all. They feel really alive. And, you know, and it's like, and maybe, you know, Johnson and Herron the most, their pages feel truly alive and wanting to capture that essence without not trying to steal their work, but trying to be inspired by their idea of motion. Because I feel like that's one of the most overlooked things in sort of, I say, younger artists, is this sense of motion. And
I think so. That's true. I think that's something that just takes time. You have to be really comfortable with your art. So that's the next step after knowing the structure of drawing, if you understand what I mean. If you know anatomy and you know perspective, that's great. You're a good artist. But the next step is getting that motion and the acting in there. And I think that's when you like push yourself and really have a breakthrough, when the art comes to life. You can feel the characters through the art. It's not just, well, this is correct anatomy, you know what to exaggerate and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that forced perspective work that's so often done makes such a difference. And it's but I agree. It's that emotion and emotion. Tatsuki Fujimoto, who does Chainsaw Man, he talks about that all the time. And I think he even sort of says this himself, you know, he's like, I am not a great artist, but I understand motion and emotion. And he's a fabulous storyteller, and so he can sell 1 million copies a month of Chainsaw Man. Because you pick that book up and it grabs you, it reaches out of the pages, grabs a hold of you.
It's such a weird book too.
It's just
it's really interesting storytelling. Not to go off on a tangent about Chainsaw Man, but the pacing is really different than most manga. You really pay attention to it, and it's very straightforward, because most manga is pretty decompressed, and Chainsaw Man isn't. So you guys should read it. It's pretty cool. Oh, look at that tree. Those details. Thank you for the links, everyone who's posting links. Be sure to back this. We got one person who had just backed the original art here. DJ Martinez asked, how do I pick a page? You will be getting messaged by Adam after everyone else who picked a page before you, correct?
That's right. So the first couple of people have already picked, and I'm waiting on the next person, and it goes down the line. I should have got to it a little earlier, and I apologize on that, because it's going to take a little bit, probably after the campaign ends, to get through everyone. I try to give people sort of like, hey, here's 24 hours to pick. You know, this is one of my favorite pages here. So the story is a bit, is a bit of Lobo meets the Crow, and its short setup is you have Mitch Bernthal, who is an enforcer for the Red Animal Biker Gang, whose life is full of just horrific choices, and his only real accomplishment is he's got iron knuckles, and he's roughing somebody up for the mob who's a snitch, and he has this sort of a religious awakening, if you will, and he realizes he's going to hell unless he does something, and he turns the shotgun and shoots the gang leader. They come after him, burns his whole world down, and he ends up bleeding to death at the bottom of a ditch, or on the verge of that. And little does he know is he's on the tomb of this ancient warrior called the Leviathan Warrior, who, the Leviathan Warrior, he is the warrior who slew that beast from the Bible, the Leviathan, and then he took its jawbone and uses it as his blade, and so he now needs an avatar to fight this enemy known as the Myth Slayer. And that this girl you saw here at the tree, right? She is this is the killing tree. She's the the killing tree. And she's this mentally unwell girl that the Myth Slayer, our villain, started to speak to in her ears. And then she killed her parents, sacrificed them, and was able to cut down the killing tree and unleash the Myth Slayer, who is this villain that is essentially trying to consume all beliefs and all religions and all faiths into one, right? And enslave the world, and has been encased in this tree for 1,000 years. And so the Leviathan Warrior is no longer in this world, but through the use of an avatar, he can help fight the Myth Slayer and his endless horde. And so Mitch gets selected, even though he is broken spiritually, broken physically and is the wrong guy. He's the wrong guy to be the champion for good. But that's
right. Doesn't sound like a great person, but that's what he has to work with. What he's got.
He's got to work with what he's got, which is a lousy guy. And so this is his chance to go from a detestable person into a great person. And his ex-wife is in the hospital on the verge of death, in part from his own doing. And he's promised that if he can win this war, the Leviathan warrior can save his wife. Except he's fighting a war against a horde that he probably can't win, that he's most likely going to lose. So he's fighting a fight against the Mistslayer and his horde of monsters that he's likely to lose. So you have this character who's facing off against the horde, like in Avengers when Captain America's standing on the cliff against Thanos and his whole horde alone with his broken arm, except the Avengers never come. It's just him. And he's so it's a chance for him to redeem himself and face off. And so it's his redemption story played out through this horde that he's fighting. And then the Mistslayer is very interesting because his objective is to crush all beliefs into just one, in a belief in him, right? And sort of enslave the world. And this small town where this battle takes place was built upon the ruins of his temple before. And so this is sort of the showdown between good and evil is going on here. And Mitch is the avatar for the good guys. And
let me take a look at that one. Ooh, that's a great job. Was that the page that was? I remember now. We had you on the Creators Roundtable as well. That's why I remember all this. Was that the break page?
Right. Yeah. That's
a nice break. Yeah, I love that. Right?
Yeah, this is the chapter break. This is the chapter break page. Yeah. In fact, the guy who was number 2 went straight for this. It's one of my favorite pages. Part of me really wanted to keep it off because it's so emotional. The perspective, the rain.
Yeah.
It feels like Frank Miller, but obviously not. It's Jason Crager, but it has that feeling.
That stark contrast of black and white. Very Miller-esque. Dang, hi Zach, and Zach's like the rendering, the texture.
Yeah.
I love this page here because this is the moment where Mitch, where our biker, he has this awakening, right? And you can see Jason did this so well here in the eye. How you see I put the cross in there? It kind of signifies he's having this spiritual awakening. Now there's obviously some text and thought balloons, but the way he portrayed that and that smoke coming off the arm is pretty incredible.
Yeah, the texture of the smoke. I think that's the level up challenges for artists once you just learn to draw, right? So obviously comic layouts and learning to draw comics is a whole different thing. But as an artist, it's motion and it's texture. And those are the next 2 things that'll really make you level up if you figure it out.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
No, and I think that some people don't quite realize, because I hire storyboard artists all the time to do storyboards for commercials, and they make a lot more money than comic book artists, even though their work is significantly less in the skill set required. Not that they don't have skill, they do, and it requires great work.
Yeah.
But the comic book artists have to be able to draw anything with massive amounts of storytelling and its final product that the audience experience. The storyboard artist is helping people see what the director sees,
and a lot of it can be so rough. Like I've done storyboards before, and it's also a skill unto itself, but I had trouble not rendering stuff because I was used to comics, and they're like, we don't want rendering, we just want to block the shot choices out and to generate different choices for a scene really quickly. And it is hard, don't get me wrong, but it's totally not the same as comics. Comics don't pay well in comparison.
I never want to ever say that like it isn't hard, because there's definitely skills in it, but a comic artist has to be able to draw anything. It has to be able to tell stories, has to fit things into panels, has to work with a writer and an editor. it's an incredibly difficult skill. It's fortunate that people are passionate about it, because if it was just hourly pay, there'd be no one employed. There'd be no one. If it was Starbucks work, you know what I mean? But comic pay. So it's like there is something, and it's really magical about comic book artists and what they can pull off. This is one of my favorite ones here. Moromi got this one.
Hell
this is the double page
Look at
spread
that.
here.
Thanks, Moromi. I mean, you're smart to jump on that, though. Should have done that. Oh, that big old worm. Look at that. Zachary Maroy wants you to follow him, Jason. Can you do that? He seems to be in love with you. Will you do him a favor of giving him some attention?
Okay, I gotta be honest, Adam.
It's Zachary.
I think
Zachary might be confusing. I'm not the artist. It's Jason. I'm the writer on it. But
yeah. Adam's the writer. Jason is the artist.
Yeah, I'm this guy right here. I'm the artist.
Hey, hold on me. That's great. Oh, look at that guy. He's adorable.
I'm the artist. That's
What
me.
is that on his head? It's like a little gear thing. I still got your Duragard that I haven't painted yet because I don't have time ever.
It'll look
love your little
amazing
Duragard,
once you
though.
do. It'll be
I'm
really
excited.
cool.
Yeah, sooner or later I'll get to it. But yeah, this is the pages are all going to be like this, right? It's a black and white book with zip.
yeah, it's a black and white. But if you look here, versus the original pages I've been showing you, you can see here this page, they have gray tone and zip-a-tone to them, so it reads a little more like a manga. So I find that much more appealing to read than just strict black and white. And then also too, you can see there's also a lot of elements added on the digital side as far as some sort of specs and sprays to make it feel a little bit more textured as well. But what you're seeing here, but what you're seeing is it is a black and white book, and I think that's because with crowdfunding, I try to figure out how to do two things. How do you make it memorable, right? And then how do you get so that people are getting a collector's item that makes it worth it, because they have to wait, they come on early. Backers are awesome people. They believe in something and they take the ride. So that's why the foil cover, it's going to be signed, and also too, the way these pages are in this black and white version won't exist in retail, right? This is the only way you'll get to have this book, and so you got something special because you came first, right? You showed up when there was, you were the first people to believe, if you will. So it's going to be black and white, and I think with this story and with Jason's art style, it really lends itself to that in a way where I love it. And I think that, obviously I don't think there's any question more black and white books are sold than color books in the world. Interestingly enough, right? And so,
I think an American audience, and this is what I heard, because my book was originally going to be black and white, and it was just going to be shaded. But I was, the color, getting it color was a stretch goal because I didn't even think I could afford it. And it was originally designed to look good in black and white because everyone knows I have a manga influence, and manga are the most highest selling genre or sector of the comic industry, however you want to think about it, in the world, and that's almost entirely black and white. And I think if a comic is made to be black and white, the audience is receptive to it. And it's even American audience that grew up with color comics. If a comic is designed well to look good in black and white, I think the problem is if it's designed to be in color, but it's not color, the storytelling isn't as clear, because there's different ways of designing a comic if you plan on coloring it. So I like that you guys are going with this, because I do appreciate black and white comics as well.
Yeah, no, I think you make a good
just
point
like
there.
film.
Yeah, but I think you make a good point there, Irene, right? That you can, if you don't design it correctly, because like, for example, The Eighth, my first book, that artist drew it to be colored, right? Because he was also the colorist. And so you make very different choices when you're crafting it than when you know that these lines are what it is, right? I think you're right. But anyway, so that's our choice with that. What was really cool is Nick Pitara. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's an amazing artist. Yeah. He did that Axe Wielder John book.
Yeah.
We just were vibing on each other. Been going back and forth. I did a stream with Bancroft about how cool his book Axe Wheeler John is, and he started to really hit it off with Jason and I, and he gave us a couple of covers that we sold out of as well. We did just a limit to 25 each in the red and the green, which was fun to see. Just, you know, that's a cool thing about this business, right? It's like we made something cool. It resonated with the cool thing he made. We got together. Yeah, right, Zachary? Nick Pitara is a beast. And if anybody's thinking
Speaking of, hello, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hi.
Yeah, there's Nick. Dude, there he is.
So awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for $5. Gracing you three together. I love Adam's energy and love for the medium. Killer artwork, Crager. Cheers to a strong finish. Strong finish. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Yeah, no,
awesome.
Nick gave us these beautiful covers of the Myth Slayer's head that were a very different take instead of Jason's, which was like all out war. This was a much more isolated version. So if you scroll down on the main content there, Irene, you can see the
one left.
Covers.
Only one. There
No,
will be only one.
No,
it's so weird and gross, and I love it. This reminds me of something from Attack on Titan. It's like that kind of weird, gross anatomy stuff you would see in that.
That's right. And he did such a, you know, Nick has such a great use of perspective and layering, and he knows how to make things feel massive, right? And if you've read Axe Wheeler John, you know he knows how to make things just feel imposing, and there's something really engaging about that kind of artwork. And so I'm grateful we were able to connect with Nick, and that's like the part of the magic of being in this space in comics, right? Is it like, you get this chance to connect with other creators and fans, you know, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
This is the Myth Slayer, right?
Yeah, that's the Myth Slayer. So that's our villain story.
I love that name. That's such a cool name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, because he's slaughtering other people's myths and beliefs and getting them all into one. Right. He's the Mao. He's the early Mao. You know, think early Red China Mao, right? Yeah, Red Bible Mao.
Do away with the past.
Yes. No, I think, you know, you and I both share a love of China. I've been to China a lot, the mainland, and, you know, I was writing a movie for a Chinese animation studio for a while called The Only Child.
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
Was set in the 80s in North Beijing. You know, when, you know, the only child policy was, and like the loneliness of those kids. And anyways, I just spent a lot of time in the world of China and studying it. And
interesting. I didn't know you actually worked on something there. Hello, Ginger.
Yeah.
Thank you for backing.
Nintendo Ginger. Thank you. Yeah, I know one of my movies. One of the first movie that I wrote that got produced, because I've written many before they got produced back when I was 28, was shot in Beijing. And I went to go work on it. It was a movie called The Game of Assassins. And we shot in Beijing. And so that's what got me there. And then that's when I fell in love with the East. And it's been kind of, Rob the Replicator.
Hi, Rob. I don't know this. But it sounds like...
Listen, Chris was one of my actors in a TV series I was directing called Escape the Night, and I needed somebody to do some VO for me, and I asked him to do it for me out of favor. I mean, I had just hired him to be in the TV show, and so I thought Chris might feel, you know, like he might help me out. So he did, and Rob has extrapolated that into that I've, you know, extorted him for voiceover work endlessly on my videos, but
is that what you have? Oh, you have him voicing over your videos.
I had him voicing he did a bunch of my videos. This one I didn't do an animation. I did a walkthrough of the book. So that way I could, because Chris, you know, is no longer with us, so I wasn't able to get his. But Rob.
Thank you for the super chat, Rob.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that there's. But yeah, Rob, also another great creator. His book, The Replicator, awesome. And it's like a pleasure to like be in this space. That is for sure. But I think that, you know, and what I think is exciting right now in comic books, you know, I was just seeing, you know, James Tynion. He's got Tiny Onion. You see The Distillery. You see Ghost Machine. You see Nick's label, which is Ken Deshori. I might not be saying that wrong.
I don't know that one. No, I know about Ghost Machine.
you got all these factions starting their own because we're on the cusp of like the big two are kind of the past. They're wonderful. They're just the past, and so it's exciting to see what's ahead. And then this is the best.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just they're wonderful.
Yeah.
They're just the past.
Well, I think that's just naturally how industries evolve. With I've been feeling for a long time that comics has just been kind of stagnant, and I think it's entertainment in general across America. Everything is so corporatized, but that doesn't mean it's the end. I think that just naturally, that's when the indies start flourishing, and that's when new ideas start coming from the indies, and it's this natural cycle. It's almost like a cycle of civilizations. Like we never heard about civilization on my podcast with Ali about world building, and there's this whole cycle about I don't know if you guys have looked into how nomads and like horse riders will invade cities and establish people and take over, but then they become sedentary and weak, and then the cycle continues with like some other nomad like the Mongols like coming in and raiding them. And it's the same with just everything on a micro and macro level and in industries as well. I think as long as you have that competition going, you should naturally have this cycle. Once there's stagnation, well then the indies will rise up. And I love it. That's where we are.
And I think that's an exciting time, right? And it's not that what had come before was evil or bad. It just has completed its course. I was at a Hot Topic, and I saw some kids buying some T-shirts with manga and Naruto on it and One Piece on it. And I said, well, how come you aren't getting the shirt with the Batman on it? And they said, well, that's my dad's comic. And I think that always sort of resonated with me, that it's like, oh, they just they're looking for the new thing. And I think that's also, and it's an exciting time to be a part of that. And part of that is wearing badass T-shirts. Badass T-shirts like this one that Jason designed. I loved this piece of art. Somebody did buy this original piece as well. But it's just such a cool image. It feels great on a shirt. And I'm, thank you, Snarktacon DM.
Thank you. Back up 209.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, we got to refresh soon. That's a great shirt, man.
Right? I'm that guy. I own a lot of crowdfunded shirts, for the record. Mary Boys, a whole bunch of Phil's shirts, maybe 3 of Phil's. He's got me trapped. But it's but I like that. I like what it is to wear the shirt and to rep the tribe. And we print them on really nice high-end, the premium Bella Canvas shirts that have the higher knit count, so they have a proper hang. They're not like that boxy Hanes shirt that I look stiff all the time wherever I go.
It looks like a nice shirt. I didn't really know because I don't really wear T-shirts, but it's like it's a whole. You have nice T-shirts, and then you have like meh T-shirts. There's a difference. And you don't really know about this until you start making products. But yeah, that looks nice. It looks like I know the line that you're talking about.
Right. You know what I mean? And I got a question though. Here is Rob is saying the Kill Journal has one of my favorite panels in comics. What is that panel?
Yeah, what's that panel?
Because Jason drew it. What is that panel?
Yeah.
Irene read it. We've all got it. What is it?
What is it? What page?
You hear that? Rennie is too good for T-shirts.
I don't wear T-shirts. I wear like tank tops and other girly stuff. Okay. Oh, you have graded. See, you have slabs as well.
Yes, I gotten a few requests, so I thought I would do some. And I know the price seems kind of crazy, but it's really expensive actually to have that done, and it takes 2 months. And so anybody who does make that choice, I've tried to warn them, hey, this is it kind of goes out of my hands when I ship the books to them and get everything certified, but then you get the slab. But yeah, it's quite a process.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everybody, people know how CGC works, and 2 months is not that long of a wait for a slab comic. So that's that sounds like a good idea actually. I see a lot of people doing this on their campaigns. Another super chat from Nick Vitara. Thank you so much for the $5. As the big 2 weekend creatives have the opportunity to become entrepreneurs, we can move faster without the restraints. Dead on take, Rennie. Exciting times. They are exciting times, and I think we're at the point where there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of momentum built up in the indies, and I think the next step is to ensure our products keep on getting better. I think that's what we have to do. Because the way I think about it is, we're not just competing against superhero comics, or not even super, because there's superhero comics in the you know what I mean, but Marvel and DC. But I want us to compete with manga, and that's a really high bar. But you know what? I feel like that's how you stay motivated, by realizing that that's the best, that's what's selling the best, and we should be aiming to be just as good. And I love thinking about that, because that makes me motivated to make better comics.
I agree, right? It's not that they're selling better, so it's like you suck. It's just like, oh, somebody bigger and badder showed up at the park, and it's like, you got to up your game now, right? You know,
yeah,
and so,
it's exciting.
And I think Nick is saying it right there, where it's like you have an entrepreneurial mind now, like, and I think Nick is somebody who has a strong entrepreneurial mind too, where it's like, you now, it's like to thrive here, it's like you have to be a more than maybe just an artist or just a writer, even though that's hard enough. Is you've then got to have this entrepreneurial mind and be marketing and promoting and connecting with people and crafting a new world, and it's rad.
Yeah. There's so many great ideas out there that are people are creating, and just like how Nick was saying, without the constraints. You know, I've pitched things to publishers, and maybe it's just my bad luck, but I've talked about my experience. They didn't seem to want to take risks. And while I understand that, well, here we don't have that constraints, because as long as there's somebody interested, then we can make it. And that's great. That's how art should be. Good.
That's right. I talked about this when I was talking about X Wither John. I think it felt this with Tatsuki Fujimoto on Chainsaw Man. When you read that book, you're like, oh, this is a fearless storyteller. This is what a fearless storyteller looks like, right? They just say, I'm going hard. And James Decoy, I think, is that kind of storyteller too. It's like Dana Warren Johnson. These guys are like, I'm fearless. I'm going my own pathway. I'm pushing hard. I'm making the big swings. And I'm not compromising or like checking off boxes so somebody else is happy. I'm giving you something that's a pure, authentic creation. And I think in the wake of AI and all the other things that happen in our industry, that pure creation is going to matter. It's going to stand out.
Yeah, I agree. I think whatever is doing comics is pretty risky, but any art is risky. And I think with any sort of art, especially working in indies, you could either bomb or you can do really, really well. And most people are probably in between, but you can't strike gold if you're playing safe. So I believe that whatever is the next golden age is going to come out of somewhere around here.
I like it.
And I can feel it. I can feel it. It's just like the excitement I've been looking for a long time. I talk about this as well, but I'm like, oh, I'm finally around people that just love comics. Hey, Critical Blast, what's up? Hey, RJ. Death by Jawbone. I don't know who Mr. Sampson is, because I don't get references. I don't know who that is. FK322, thank you for the 2 memberships gifted separately. Thank you so much. I have plenty of members. I need to start making more emojis for everyone. Rob is trying to get me to make this stream unfamily friendly. Don't you know that this is a very family friendly show, and I am just a prude? How dare you?
Yes.
I would never. I would never.
I think there's
the insinuation.
I think Rob's statement there, he's not the only person requesting that. I think that's you may have to react to that.
well, you know, if I would start having trouble paying my rent, then maybe there'll be a special edition of Fiendish or something. Who knows? We'll see. But I don't want to get into that place. Back Fiendish, please. Are good. Oh, look at that. That's the piece that Marumi got. Oh,
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, no, I love see, because Fiendish represents to me like it's I've been playing in this D&D group with some other TV actors and showrunners and writers, and we've been doing it now for 4 years, and we're gonna kind of close out this campaign. And I feel like Fiendish feels like an episode of our sessions, right, where it has that campaign feel to it, and I mean that in the good way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is like I get the next installment of Fiendish, and it's like, this is the next campaign. Yep. This is the next, it has that feeling. So
yes, exactly. Well, I play a lot of Pathfinder, as I talk about all the time. So that's obviously, it's not like I didn't draw our Pathfinder module or anything. It's my own story, of course, for Fiendish. But yeah, I love tabletop games, and to me, it's a writing resource. It's the way tabletop games are told, the storytelling in them is an inspiration for me. So I'm so glad to hear that, and I think that it's also great to see these different almost types of whatever you call it, nerdery fandom crossing over, because people that like fantasy and then people who like gaming, board games, and then comics is kind of like all. That's what I'm trying to bring together. And then you guys are doing something. I've seen you doing the same kind of crossover with your projects. You're very experimental with crossovers and playing around with genres, right? Like, what genre would this even be? I don't even know.
All right. Well, I guess this would be like on its simplest face, action/adventure, right? Or action, or would probably be. It's like simple. If I was making this as the movie, we'd call it that. And I think that this crossover is meaningful. Like Brian was saying, like he DM trained him to be a writer, and I think that's true about myself. Like character world creation storytelling began, in a basement playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was 12, right? Because it's this arena to experiment in, and then it comes back around. Fiendish Quest, that's good.
Fiendish, yeah.
But but I think that's the cool part about it, and I think there is a fun transitioning from medium to medium with something. I think sometimes you can make a disingenuous project where it's like, I'm really making this comic. I get these calls from people in the industry. I want to make this comic because I want to make it into a movie, right? How should I go about that? And I always say that's really a disingenuous approach.
I have thoughts. Yeah, I'm trying to I'm like, oh, I have thoughts about that. I get it if someone is also doing justice to the comic, but what I see is there's a lot of creators who aren't making a good comic first, and it's all about, well, let's get to the movie. The comic is like a side thing, and I really don't like that, because comics are a great medium, and it's sure.
Well, the thing about it is nobody wants your comic to be made into a movie unless it was authentically successful in that space.
Right. If it's not a good comic, then why would anyone want to make it into a
and also
movie?
not only just was it a good comic, was it a successful comic to some degree, right? Because Disney and Warner Brothers already have access to the best comic library. They have unlimited, right? So you're trying to create something that needs to have had some impact in the comic space for that to actually mean something in the room. If you're like, hey, here's this, it became a comic, and 7 people read it, it's like, that doesn't, having been in many pitch rooms, that doesn't mean much for the record. It almost means a negative. It means that it didn't actually work in the first medium, which means it's unlikely to work in its second medium. There's one thing to come in a room, like and say, hi, this is my book, The Exile, that did it with Wesley, and we sold 100,000 copies of it. We had a good run showing. Then they can go, okay, you did something legitimate. This works, right?
Look at that.
But if you come in and make something, this is rad. This is
it's hardcover too.
This. No, it's soft.
Oh right. Oh, it just looks like a hardcover when you hold it up. Every time I get tricked.
So it's so big, but that's
I don't have that
nicer
one
to read.
I'm terrible. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk. I'll get you one.
Yay! Thank you.
But it's
that's awesome.
But there's something meaning. But there's a meaning of it. It's like, I made this comic, and really I just want to make it as a film, and I couldn't get a publisher to carry it, and I couldn't get a fan base to build around it. Then Hollywood doesn't want it because the value is so low. Unfortunately, what you've proven is that it didn't work in the first medium, which then is a net negative for the second medium, which is why, they used to do this thing called transmedia. Sci-Fi Channel did this, where they made the video game and the TV series at the same time and the comic book. Unfortunately, they launched them all simultaneously. So it's like, you can get the experience everywhere you go. But the TV show wasn't that good, and it didn't attract much of a fan base. And so it just all collapsed at once.
Right, and you've sunk so much money into it already, and without ensuring that it would succeed in one medium, one by one.
That's
I would assume.
That's exactly right. That really, what you're looking for when you're going to a higher medium, and I mean by higher meaning a more expensive medium, is success in the cheaper medium right below you. So you can be like, oh, that really resonated. It did had some decent sales numbers for that medium, right? It got published and well liked, got good reviews. That has value then because I know it's proven in another medium. So anyways, way too much information there. But yes,
no, I like this.
Yeah,
this is all like interesting knowledge. It's right. I was laughing. It's Rob's being spicy in chat. I will not pull that up, but I kind of agree. Well, that's you probably kind of already answered this, but what would you say the boardrooms or production companies or even publishers you work with, what do they look for? Because even if someone isn't pitching to a panel like that, I think knowing those things helps creators better their work, and even as an indie creator.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's unbelievably difficult to get a television or series or film made. You think because, oh, Netflix has all these shows, they'll easily take my comic. You're out of your mind. The finest creators on earth are already ahead of you in the line, knocking on the door, pitching their stuff. So you're so far back in the line. Just remember that. The people ahead of you have already made 10 movies, have already made multiple TV series. So what they're really looking for is a work that has been successful in one medium, right, to a high level, right? As high as that level. For example, Something is Killing the Children by James Tinney and his kid becoming made a TV series. That's run 26 issues, in single issues. It's got a lot of rave reviews, and it consistently sells, 30 to 50,000 issues a month. Every month it drops, right? So what you have is a long-term consistency and a build to that. That becomes appealing to a studio, right? And then it has to then get partnered with a production company, usually by some big showrunner, and then they partner with them, and they have to like it. And then that bigger showrunner, if it's TV or director or studio, if it's a movie, then takes that into the network and says, hey guys, I want to make this. And then they have to fight for a year to get it made, right? So you need that much level of approval. If you think you're going to go pitch your comic to Netflix, that's just not how that works. You need an outrageous success. You need some decent representation that can get you then in the room with the other creatives that are highly accomplished to then approve of your work and then take it and shop your work so that it's a completed package. So it is not close. It's not easy.
A
lot of gatekeepers along the way because the studio wants you to come into the room. My buddy, he and I did a couple movies together. Like, he's now writing a Stephen King movie with Francis Lawrence directing, right? And he had a couple successes. We had a movie at Sundance, and he had another film for the Weinstein Company. But the pedigree it took for him to get the job is Stephen King had to call the studio and say, I think he's the right guy to write it.
Dang.
Right. So it's like you have, and then the guy who directed all the Hunger Game movies for Lionsgate. It's like, it's that much coming together to get something made. So you just think about that, like, that's how these movies get made, is somebody assembled a really impressive package. That's what gets greenlit ultimately.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, it's just, that's how it is. Going from you have a good idea and having talent to getting something made in a higher budget medium like a TV show or movie that's a huge jump. But that's what I appreciate about comics. That barrier isn't there. Even one person can make a comic, or the most you have to worry about if you're not an artist is hiring an artist, and like you can make something with a very small team. So I just love that. I think especially in a visual medium, even making games costs way more. It's a ton of effort. So
much effort.
If we're going to have the next big thing coming out in a visual medium, it's going to start with comics. That's how I think about it.
And so making your comic to be an ultra success and getting it just to be successful as a comic alone is a tremendous task. And until that task is accomplished, the other steps those doors can't even be knocked on. right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Let's scroll back up this and let's just look real quick at the perks because I know your time is limited as you're always busy. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. We're talking before the show that Adam is just always doing 5 things at once, and it's just I can barely manage like doing, I don't know, 2 things a day. It's just nuts. I don't know. You need to teach me time management. But look
You
at
gotta
all
get a
this
watch
amazing
and
art.
live by it.
Yeah, I guess that's really simple, right? But it's so hard to do for artists because you're like, oh, just another 30 minutes now. But yeah, let's refresh and see. I know this has gone up because we've gotten quite a few backers. So it's at 10, 7, 25, 183 backers. Let's see how many we have now. Almost 11,000. Yes. 5 backers. That's great. Keep on coming, everyone. If you like how this looks, and this, I assume this cover is campaign exclusive as well.
That's
the
right.
Nice foil cover.
Yeah, this is the crowdfunding exclusive. Yeah, it won't ever exist in retail. It'll just be here, just for those who got this. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the interiors are black and white with kind of grayscale, duotone, zipatone. Right, yeah. And that is also campaign exclusive. I assume if you do a mass market edition, it'll be colored.
That's right. That's right.
And you have the featured tier is the foil edition with a T-shirt, and then the foil edition that you just showed off. That looks, and that's the one you just showed off, but it'll have the logo as well. That's the only difference.
That's right. This is a virgin cover right now, but it'll have the trade dress, right? It'll have the title and the issue number, etc. Yep.
Awesome. And you have a slab. You can get a slab here. Only 85. That's not bad for a slab.
Yeah.
And original art. The last pages. There's one more piece, everybody. Only one more. Nab that while you can.
Who will it be?
Stop sitting on that. Who will it be? I'm looking forward to getting mine. Make Patara covers. All the Patara covers are sold out. So there you go. Wow. It's only 25 each of those.
Thank you, Nick.
All the other original art is sold out. So there you go. That's all you got. You've got one piece of original art, a slab, and then the foil and T-shirt, and that's it. I like how this is a very comic-focused campaign. You got a T-shirt. People like T-shirts, but otherwise it's like slabbing the comic and other very just book-focused stuff. I really like that because I'm like all about just let's focus on the craft.
I'm all about the book because I tend to when I get all the other gack a lot of other little things, they kind of just end up in a drawer somewhere, because I back too many things, so they just end up in drawers. And so I decided to focus, which breaks my heart a little bit, but so I just wanted to focus on the book, the thing that I think is what it's really about. But Irene, you're awesome for having Jason and I on and helping us get the word out, and you're totally cool. And Phoenix is rad. And
Thank you.
And next time I'm in Atlanta, we'll find a way to get in the same room.
Yeah. so now that I know that you come by Atlanta, which of course that makes sense because you film stuff and Atlanta's full of film stuff, duh. But yeah. I am around Atlanta-ish, and let's definitely meet up next time. Didn't work out this time, but that'll be great.
Nice.
And yeah, thank you so much for showing us Jawbone Death again. This is such a good looking book. I appreciate both of you guys. You guys do such awesome work. And hurry up and give me my original art.
Yes. It's getting moved on to you soon. Have no doubt.
Rob's is I live in Atlanta, ew. Atlanta's not bad actually.
Atlanta, Rob, is much cooler than you think. When you think of the Atlanta of 20 or 30 years ago, it's different than the Atlanta today.
No, it's totally different. Right. When I first moved here, which was like, it was the middle of the recession as well. It was like back in college. It was terrible. But no, now all the film money is coming in. It's real cute, actually. Yeah. And I live in the outskirts of the city, so it's not, it's like a little quieter. I love it.
It's a great place.
Yeah, all my friends are in other cities. It's the only problem, but it's a good place to live.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Did I miss any? Don't think I missed any submission. Nope. Always full of crackheads. Down Go Solo had a bad experience coming to Atlanta. Okay, we will look past that. But anyhow, let's see. If you don't mind me shouting out what I'm working on because I've got a image. I've got a thingamajig. Oh, wait, we do have a member chat. Real quick, Alex VRB, member for 25 months. Thank you so much. Alex says, Rainy, thank you for promoting another awesome project. Everyone check out JAWBONE Death, Fiendish 2.5. Both closing soon, yes. As well as Voyage by Zach Maroy. That's true. Yes, check out Voyage. Thank you to all the backers. None of this is possible without you. Well said. And that includes you, Alex, because you are a frequent backer, and you're like the #1 backer on what, like 20 campaigns now. So it's much appreciated, and thank you so much for your support. He's always the first. I don't know how he does it.
I'm starting to believe there's something not quite legal happening there, because it's so consistent. I mean, Alex has a record that I don't know how that's quite legal, how that's going on, but he has mastered it.
He told me about it before, and he's like, oh, I have like multiple tabs open, and I just time myself, and I'm like, what? you just have some program that does it? That's what it sounds like to me, but I mean, either way. Whatever.
No one like him. No one like him.
No, I do like Alex.
No, he's the best, dude. I'm saying, no one is like him. No one is like him.
Oh, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah,
it's
he's
amazing.
Special for sure.
Alex can use his speed for us. Yeah, he can go back in time. And Barb Rogers Solitaire gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A couple more questions I forgot. It actually, this is closing really soon. I wasn't aware of that. Silly me. This is closing tomorrow. It's right there. I didn't even look at it. Where are you going to be closing out? Where should people be looking?
People should. I don't have anything. Unfortunately, there's no stream. This is kind of it. For it, there's nothing tomorrow, as it kind of finishes tomorrow, like in the afternoon, or I guess tomorrow night at midnight, I guess is when it would close out. But there's no particular stream, so if anybody wants to, just jump on in. But it close out. It'll go in demand for just probably another 2 weeks, except for the original pages. Everything, all the special items go away, but it'll be in demand for a couple weeks while we get the books printed, and then it'll be out and in your hands.
Awesome. So it's a really quick turnaround. So I know people like that. So awesome. Yep. Be sure to back it tomorrow before the extra goodies come down. And before we leave, because we're all busy people here, including me. I have work to finish, guys. I owe people so much work. It's obscene. Please check out Fiendish, and especially Fiendish 2.5. That is also closing out this Saturday. I thought it was Friday, but I actually pushed it back a day because I'm doing a pre-closeout on Friday on my channel. So that'll be Friday night. I'm going to kind of merge it with the Ali and Rini show. So I think the plan right now is we're going to be doing the Ali and Rini show maybe like 10 or 11 and then just merging it with the pre-closeout. So we'll talk some world building stuff and then, I don't know, bring some people on and just get drunk. I have no idea, but we'll figure it out. And then I'm just going to be streaming all through Saturday by myself with other people. And it ends, and this is ending because Fund My Comic does not have an in-demand thingy-majig. It's just coming down. It's going to be ending at the Saturday, Sunday midnight, right at the midnight time. So it's Pacific time. So it's 3 a.m. Eastern time, Sunday technically. So you only have like 3 more days to back this. So don't miss out. All my campaign covers are also campaign exclusive. You all know that. I have said that a million times. So please do not forget that you will not be able to get these covers anymore. So check this out, please. If you love fantasy and mystery and all that kind of good stuff, then this is for you. And also, if you've missed out on previous Fiendish books, this is a great jumping on point because it's a one-shot, and you can also get chapter 1 and 2 in a bundle for a discount along with this campaign. So get on it. Get on it before it's too late. Now, Solo asked specific time for the pre-closeout or the closeout. I don't know what's gonna happen with the closeout. I actually might be on Flashcast at the closeout. I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, he's nice. He might let me pull it up. But I'm doing the closeout stream on my channel on Friday, and then just hoping for the best on the proper closeout day, right? But so join me Friday night on my channel. I guess I'll start at 10-ish, and that's when we're gonna party and all that stuff. And maybe I'll have like a new some kind of goodie for that stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But because we have hit 32,000. Oh, so close to 33 as well. Oh my God, look at that. Everyone will be getting this as a mini print as well. So 2 mini prints. Everyone is getting these 2 completely for free. So thank you guys so much. And we still have a couple more stretch goals I have planned. So we'll see if we can hit that. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate the help. I really, really do. This is a quick turnaround too. We're going to be fulfilling by April. We just have to finish coloring it, and I'm lettering it while I'm working on chapter 3. So really quick turnaround. So I'm really looking forward to putting this book in your hands. I'm sure you guys are going to like it. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
All
Nice.
right. Yeah.
I backed it for the record ages ago, but I backed it for sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is like a different experience doing like first time I'm being a writer on a book, but I really hope people will enjoy it. But I won't keep you guys for too long. Where can everyone follow both of you, starting with Adam?
You can follow me at Gifted Rebels Co. on X. That's my number one, and then I'll send it on Instagram and Facebook, and also TikTok. And I'm always posting stuff. So join me.
Awesome. And Jason.
Crager Jason on Instagram and at Vonderabo on X or J Crager. You can find me there.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And thank you for the links. Don Ringle member for 6 months. Yay, free mini prints! Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I love mini prints, so I'm glad people also appreciate that as well. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the creative blog. That's going to be on Jake's channel. So remember to catch us there, and I'll be tweeting it out. So just look for my Twitter, and then see you on Friday for the 2.5 closeout. Boom. Thanks again, and have a good night, everybody. Bye. Bye.